Hey, I'm Grant, and welcome to the 9th episode of the Digression Bar. I am joined by...
I'm Ellie.
Andrew.
Alright guys, so I want to start this up with a little brag. So on Saturday, basically every day, I run outside. Mm-hmm. It's like a thing, because I'm salary. Over my break at work, there's a trail, I go run it, and it's gotten to the point, essentially this weekend, where it's too cold to do that. So I was like, I'm going to do like a last hurrah, running outside, and I did a half marathon, and I'm super proud of it. So I did 13.2 miles.
That's crazy.
Lungs burn?
I could not do that.
So do your lungs burn?
It wasn't that bad. What's weird is after a while, it's like, okay, I'm like overheating in the beginning, and then it's like, okay, this is hard. I'm tired, and then after a while, it's just this point where like, at this point, I'm just hungry, like, because you burn so many calories, and then it's just like I want to eat something, or like I'm just cold at this point. Like I'm long past the point where I'm hot and sweating, and now it's just like I'm just chill to the bone
Because of your sweat. And
like it's a weird feeling because it's like you're used to like, oh, I'm gonna go sprint, this is hard, but like the long play, like that was actually really difficult. It was weird because it's just like, man, I have like the halfway point, I was like, man, I really hope I can do the other half, because I ran like 6.1 miles away from my apartment, and I didn't have any other way to get back unless I called someone. So yeah, I mean, yeah, it was cool. I'm excited. I'm glad to say I've done that, but
Yeah, that's super cool.
so I'm just going to try and coast through the rest of the winter, and then maybe in the summer do some more stuff.
see, if I have to do any running in the winter past like half a mile, my lungs hurt like hell. I don't know. It just burns out. Your lungs aren't supposed to take in as much cold air that fast. It's not.
I definitely experience that like occasionally, but it's not too bad for me. I think it's just also like when I do like a run like that distance, it's not a very hard run. It's like very slow pace, so I don't think I'm like doing a lot of panting. It's a lot of just like I don't know. It's hard to describe, but I know the sensation you mean. Mm-hmm. Like God, today where it's like -0, like I was out of my car and I was like scraping it off, and I was out there like barely a minute. I'm like, what is with it today? Because I was like instantly just cold.
Yep.
It got us so bad.
It's where it's like when you have gloves that are usually warm, but you go outside and like, it doesn't feel like these are helping. I mean, they are, because your hands would go numb very quickly, but I just feel like, why are they still so cold? I don't understand this.
Yeah, so that was my big brag. And you can actually, like, because I started essentially back in March, which was before this podcast, but I think I talked about how it's like, oh, look, I can run so many miles every day, and now I'm even farther than that, so I'm super proud. So, plus, honestly, like, so I keep, like, tracking my calories with, like, MyFitnessPal and stuff, and when I came back and I was, like, able to put that in, it was like you regain, like, 1,600 calories. It's like, fuck, I have, like, superpower now. Like, I can eat whatever I want today. So that was pretty cool, too. So, awesome. So I want to brag. Otherwise, one of the things we did is, Jamie, I, and you two for half it, we rewatched all of these Shrek movies.
Yeah.
So have you seen 3 and 4 at all?
I've seen 3, but not in a long time.
Same. I saw 3 in theaters, and that was it.
You want to go back for 4? So
Is 4 good? Did you
4
enjoy
is like weird. Like,
Isn't it like Rumpelstiltskin?
yeah, they do like this
the enemy.
Yeah, they do like this alternate
bad guy?
universe thing.
Wait, what?
Yeah, so like the whole premise is Shrek makes a deal with Rumpelstiltskin, and he has to trade off one day of his life and make it like it never happened. That's what Rumpelstiltskin gets, and what he gets to be like a regular ogre for a day. Like, he's not a dad. He's not like trying to help run this kingdom. He's just scaring people like he used to. And the catch is he's like, oh, I took the day you were born. So it's like he never existed, which I guess led in the Shrek lore, was it Fiona's parents to sign over to the kingdom to try and save their daughter, because Shrek wasn't there, so she was still like cursed. But anyway, it's like super dark, and so because it's an alternate universe, they like kill a bunch of characters. I feel weird because I can't see Andrew through all here. They kill a bunch of characters just like randomly.
So Shrek's not. How much of the movie is Shrek not in Shrek 4?
No, it's all about him. But he like signs it, and then he basically it cuts back to the present day as if he had never existed. So it's like an alternate universe, like a what if scenario. So it entirely follows just him. But like no one knows who he is because he never existed. His house is like...
Wait, so he's living... So he's like observing?
No, it's just like he never existed, and then that day that he signed the contract, it's like he just spawned in.
Huh.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
So he signs the contract.
Yes.
So it's just his history was evoked, but he was still him at that time.
Yeah.
Okay.
He was still himself, but it was as if he never existed before that.
Okay.
Anyway, but like just like gingerbread guy just gets eaten. Just like it's not even a big deal. It's just like, oh yeah, he gets eaten. Or someone else like, oh yeah, like they're just get like, what was it? When they like take down like Rumpelstiltskin or something. There's other goes in that movie and they're constantly like just like full on like, oh yeah, we're gonna eat him alive. And then it's like that's a little weird to be in Shrek. Like they don't show anything and it all reverts, but it's like that's kind of weird because it's still like in my eyes like a kids movie. Mm-hmm. Like so if you're like super into like the gingerbread dude, I could see that being like upsetting that he just gets like, eaten alive, and it's like not even a big plot point.
Screaming when it's happening too.
No, it's just like they cut it back to him and he's like it's a bunch of crumbs and the cat ate him, and then it's like one joke and they just move on.
Oh, what's so weird?
What?
That's it. Like, I was just like what?
They're not just like no. It's like okay.
Yeah. It was weird. But anyway, the rest, like, 1, I feel like 1 was really good, because we all watched 1. Mm-hmm. I feel like 2 is, like, more of, like, what now I think of as Shrek. And then 3 was, like, okay. And then 4 was, like, okay, that's its own little entity. But, yeah, I just want to talk about that. I wish Jamie was here for it, because, like, I was like, I don't know. Like, I had never seen 4. And I was just like, this is weird. I don't know, something about it was just, like, weird. Like, almost like someone wrote, like, a fan fiction. But, yeah.
Now, if I recall correctly, the end of 3... does he have the other... Like, doesn't Fiona have, like, a brother? And that's like he was going to find... He was trying to find someone to take over the kingdom so he didn't have to be king.
Yeah, he was finding Arthur Pendragon.
Oh, yeah. Right. But how's he related to them? How's he related?
They don't really say. I guess it's implied that her dad had, like, a lover before her mother or something. It was really weird. He's just like, my father left when I was a kid. They never explain why.
So... Okay, but the whole thing about Arthur Pendragon is, like, he becomes king because he gets the sword out of the stone, right? Mm-hmm. So does that... I forgot. Does that happen in the movie?
No.
So then what does it matter that he's Arthur Pendragon? Because otherwise it means nothing. It's not like...
Just to make a joke. So, like, he get... Like, one of the people, like, picking on him is, like, Lancelot, who's, like, the jock. And then, like, that's basically the extent of it.
Okay.
There's not... They don't actually... I guess you also run into, like, Merlin, who was, like, his magic teacher in the high school.
Okay.
That's about it. But other than that, not really. There's no real point to having that. It's just they needed to have some king character, and I guess that makes sense.
I feel like you could use better.
It does seem now like it's weird they didn't do a single reference like the sword at all in that movie whatsoever. Sorry, you haven't seen that one. But
no, she did. She said
I've seen it, but
it's been a while.
It's been a long time. Yeah.
Not to like bring up the Shrek lore. I binged with Jamie the other night in 3 and 4, and it's like it was interesting. Or just like seeing like the quality of the animation between 1 and 4, how much it's changed because like there's such a time gap. Mm-hmm. It's just weird.
I remember 2 was a lot better than 1 even. Like that was huge in my opinion.
Well, that's what I think is like 1 I think is good because it's own little standalone, and then 2 is like more of like this define what it is.
Yeah.
Because like definitely 2, 3, and 4 are their own thing together, and then 1 is like really kind of different in a way, in a good way. Mm-hmm. But like after there, and then it's like fucking fairy tale references everywhere, you know. So that was just what I wanted to bring up because we just got through them, and we had talked about it earlier back when we were talking about whatever podcast it was where I was like digression bar gets shreked because I really like that as a verb. Yeah. So I want to bring that up. What's up with you guys? What have you been up to since the last podcast we did like a week ago?
I've been watching a lot of Seinfeld, and then I started watching Curb Your Enthusiasm, which is it's interesting. It's a pretty good show.
A good show.
Yeah.
How would you describe it?
Honestly, okay, to be honest, because I've also been watching Rick and Morty, Larry David kind of reminds me of Rick. Just like, I have to say when I watch it. But it's really good. I feel like the situations he gets himself in are just like
it's
ridiculous.
Weird. Like the way I described it like on the first episode of this where we talked about it was like, man, he gets it in some like really unfortunate situations, but man, he's such an asshole about it too. You know, like that's what's so great. It's like crazy set of circumstances, but then he also just comes out swinging and like, man, screw this guy. So
yeah,
like
I was watching the one where he goes to the doctor's office and like he like holds the elevator for the lady, and the lady gets in first, and he's like, I'm done holding elevators, I'm never doing it again. And then they like fight in the office. And then he goes to the doctor and he's like, oh, what happened to your finger? He's like, oh, I got into a fight with this person. And he's like, oh, but then no, I got into a fight with the person in the parking lot. And he's like, Like the doctor's like, you got into like 4 fights.
Gotcha.
It's a good show.
Isn't he old too? Like,
yeah, he is. Yeah.
I mean, I think he's basically, is he retired in that show? I feel like he like semi is. Like he only does like small like special projects. He's not like actually working on a show.
I mean, I guess after Seinfeld, you can probably retire no matter what your age.
Pretty much do whatever you want.
See, when you first started describing this, I don't know why I imagined like a 30-year-old like British stuck up like bitch, but
he kind of acts like that, honestly.
Like specifically British.
I would say more specifically on the bitch part, but
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just like petty about like
he
the dumbest
he's
fucking
so
thing.
petty.
It's like I can't. You're telling me she's gonna go in front of me in this line? Like she needs to die. Like, or like I just feel bad. Like or like sometimes he just needs to like leave. Like the one. Do you see the one where he goes to like a party for his friend and he has like that other friend who's like a doctor that he said something to that he really wishes he didn't. And it's just like just let it go, man.
Yep. Yeah.
And it's just like, oh my gosh.
And some of it though I feel like is so relatable. I just watched the episode where he's at a restaurant and he sees someone he knows so he has to go to the bathroom, so he goes 2 restaurants over to go to the bathroom, and I'm just like, that's such a a him thing to do. It's a good show.
Good show.
Yeah.
How you liking Rick and Morty?
I really like Rick and Morty. It's interesting because I've finished all the episodes that are out up until now, and I watched like the Pickle Rick episode, and I feel like that came out so long ago because I heard so many people like obsessing about Pickle Rick, but it was a good.
I think it's definitely a show. It's like when you watch it, it's like, oh, this is not exactly how I expected, because you hear so much about it, and then like certain things like the Pickle Rick thing, it's like, oh yeah, this is clearly going to be a moment, and then I assume it's probably not even that big of a deal. It's just people like other people who weigh out proportions. So it's very memeable.
My brother works at the Omaha Correctional Center as an intern, and he said like the Rick and Morty memes are getting really out of hand because the other day he was there and like one inmate like ran by someone saying, "Pickle Rick!" It's like, what the? You're in prison right now, and you're like making Rick and Morty references. Like, this is bullshit.
I will admit, there's one that really got me. Is I was on Reddit and I had a message from someone, and it was like, burp, I turned myself into a Reddit message. Reddit message Rick. It's like, okay, you got me. Like, you personally sent this to me, and I did not expect that.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, that was the one. I don't know. Please don't send me a whole bunch of those, but it was really like original for that one time. So, and you're watching this through Hulu, which is the first time you had. I got you that for Christmas. I got you like, hey, Hulu. So you can watch Rick and Morty. You can watch stuff. You can watch Peep Show.
Oh, is it on there?
Yeah. They took it off Netflix, which is...
Yeah, that's such a good show.
It's like a British comedy. I don't know if you ever watched it with you, Peep Show.
I think watched one episode, but it's been a long time.
How would you describe it, Ellie? What would you say Peep Show is about? Because the title sounds way worse than
it does. So the title makes it sound inappropriate.
Yeah.
It's basically about 2 roommates who are just like really shitty people, but in their own way.
It's kind of like they're vaguely like Odd Couple-esque, where like one guy's like history buff, super uptight, and just like serious. The other guy's like just like a stoner, doesn't hold a job because he wants to get his music career like you'd expect. But then like the history buff, he also doesn't have a license, so he has got to get the other guy to drive him. But
he's also like a total wimp.
Yeah,
and like doesn't want to. He's like, yeah.
They just have so many good moments. Like there's a point where they get Mark, the history guy. He gets a new boss. And he really likes his new boss. And he has this moment like, I don't know if he's just a really good leader or I might be gay. And that's the entire moment where he's like, I need to figure this out for myself. And it was just so perfect where he's like, I just don't know. And so it's all these like weird things like, oh my God, I can't recommend it enough.
I don't understand. How do you not know?
It's a really great episode and how he deals with it. Basically, it comes to a head, and he figures out that he's not, and it's also he's fighting with his roommate, and his roommate finds him like watching like gay porn. It's like trying to figure it out, but then he uses that against him. So it's no longer an issue of him like doubting. Now it's like he's got to defend like, oh no, it's not that because I'm not. I wasn't sure, and it blows up in his face. Oh my God, the wedding episode.
The wedding episode's the best.
It gets that show has one of the best instances of a character just in the background, just destroying their life. And Ellie's favorite character, Super Hans.
Yep.
Right? Or Super Hands. What? That's your Twitch account, right? Like, don't section me.
Yeah, don't section me, which is a reference to the show. There's an episode where I guess like section is like sending someone to like a mental institution, and they keep trying to get each other like section.
Yeah, but it's like I guess you was like submit anonymously, so you don't know who did it. They just know like Super Hanks comes like, who just tried to section me? Like, was it you? Was it you? It's like I'm gonna fucking kill that guy. And he's like, I could just go on and on. Like it's a great show.
It's a great show.
So do they ever explain why it's called Peep Show though?
It's called Peep Show because it's all told from like within their heads. You hear their thoughts. So it's supposed to be a peep show into that. So like when they're having a conversation, you'll hear like every single thought of them as they hear the other person talk. So like one of my favorite scenes, it's in the first episode, is he goes to work and he's like trying to go home or something, and there's a drawer in his desk. And he's trying to open it, but it's like jammed. And he's like, it's just his own little mental dialogue being like, God damn it, why can't I open this? Why can't I open this every fucking day? Every fucking day. God damn it. It's fine. I always get it. And just like, it's just him screaming and it's okay. It's like, it's so relatable. It's
like in his mind, he's doing this.
Yeah. It's like a vaguely, I guess, like Scrubs, like JD. Like that kind of same thing where it's just like, you hear his internal dialogue. So, and he doesn't monologue like that, but you hear both him and his roommates. So, and it's very good to see they're like a cut from one to the other, like mid conversation. It's like, yeah, I'll totally do that. Like fucking prick. God, there's so many great things about that show. We could do a whole podcast just on that.
We could.
Because I would love to go back and watch it a bunch.
If you like British comedy, there's a show my brother and sister really like called The IT Crowd.
I've heard good things. I did not know that was British.
Yeah, heard good things about it. Very British. It's very British. Can
you lean back? Yeah, sorry.
You're a better wall than a window. I'm gonna sit up a little more too. I was gonna say there are a couple actors, like two of the three main characters have been in things, but like they're not like famous, but like I recognize this person from something, and they're it's like God damn, you just have to watch it. There's a lot of cringe moments in it, so there are times that I get uncomfortable, but it's still funny.
Yeah, like, you hate cringe TV. You hate The Office for that exact reason.
Yeah, like even though I know The Office is hilarious, so you're just most like, I can't watch this right now. It's so bad.
Like Scott's Tots.
That's the worst.
And you're just watching it and you're just like, oh God.
You know from the beginning of that episode what's going to happen.
Yeah, you might not like that. Curb Your Enthusiasm is kind of like that as well.
It's very much like
you
that.
know he did nothing wrong technically, but he just walks into a situation like, here's like 10 people you accidentally pissed off today. Oh, what? They're all like make up the one club you have to go to like perform at today? Man, that would suck. And they're just all like dead-eyeing you individually because
yeah.
I feel like it's sometimes like, oh, he like slips on some shit. And there's like, God damn it, and picks up the chip and starts rubbing it over his face. Kind of like, is that kind of
it's
picture type? I don't know.
All right, so I got a question for you guys that will start this off to be a fun little discussion. When you play a game, do you care about your character's appearance? Like an RPG, do you spend a lot of time like doing gear and like looking good and stuff, or do you just go?
I spend a lot of time on the face and stuff. I really do. I spend so much time.
What about when you played Oblivion that one time with that apron?
Oh yeah. Well, I didn't know it didn't have pants, so I was playing. So I was playing Oblivion, and there's a quest in Oblivion where you go into the painting, and as reward you get like the artist's apron. I assumed it came with pants, that it was a whole outfit type thing. It wasn't. And then my mom's like, "Oh, what game are you playing?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah, do you want to see my clothes?" And I show her, and I didn't realize I wasn't wearing any pants.
You're basically streaking. And you said like, my mom was like, "Oh, okay."
But yeah, like I was wondering, like, wait a second, why aren't I wearing any pants? Like I feel like that'd be a great moment, like you play a game, like I didn't know that was a thing. And like, what would your mom think about that? It's like, wait, you didn't know you're half naked in the game you're playing?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Like, is it that the fact that you're playing half naked, or the fact that you didn't know you're playing half naked?
I think it was the fact. Like, I didn't know about it.
Like, I always like that stuff. Like, I always do it, even in like Dark Souls. All about that fashion Souls.
Yeah.
But I brought it up because I was playing Destiny. And that's one of like my main grinds. Is like I like having a character that looks like unique and like identifiable. So I'm just curious, like, what's your thoughts? Like, would you say how into it are you? Like, do you like strive for a unique character? Or it's like, nah, min-max my loot.
Yes. I like both.
You like both, okay.
Like, I try to use items that look like they work okay together, but I feel like I start with the item that I want the most and then try to work around that. So it's like, okay, so this item is, like, I remember, like, I forgot, I don't know what it was. I remember watching this dumb video about this guy he was like live action thing. He's like, okay, I got my best gear, and it like runs out and it's got like this like Hello Kitty shield, and it's like, it's got the best stats, and everyone's making fun of him. It's like, if it's something like completely stupid, I won't do it. But if it's like, okay, this is a really good item, what goes with this? And that's where I go from.
Okay. So what's your stance on like cosmetics in a game? Like pure cosmetics.
What do you mean?
So like
what you stand like? Do I use them? You mean, or
yeah? I'm trying to think of a good example because I'm not trying to make this like a microtransaction thing.
Okay.
But I was just curious. Like one of the things I always hated is like when games don't balance cosmetics. Like a good example I always think of is Halo Reach because that's not money focused. Like you have all those armors and you have like the in-game currency to quote unquote buy them. Mm-hmm. But I always hated because they like messed up that system because they had like the one. It's like basic helmet 1, basic helmet 2. Emil's helmet with like the skull scratched in it. That also costs the most, and you have to be the highest level 4. So it's like, well, yeah, it turned into a status symbol, and everyone only wore that one helmet. It's like, well, you fucking ruined it. And I hate when games do that, where it's like, do you want the green sword? Do you want the blue sword? Or do you want the giant flaming sword? It's like, well, what's the point of anything? Because everyone's gonna take the giant flaming sword. Like, I don't know. Like, there's a small rant I had. There's always like, I hate when they do that. Whereas, like, I always actually really like Destiny, how you could kind of like mix and match, and they all kind of go together to make your own thing. It's like Legos versus you buy the one really neat thing that everyone has, and then that's it. I don't know. It's just a rant that's always annoyed me because I've been trying to like gear out my Guardians to look cool. So, you know, because I've been doing Destiny videos for like small little like tips and stuff. So.
I know. I kind of liked honestly, I kind of like the armor system in Halo 4, like where you get armor. Like you had to do, I think it was based on commendations. Yeah, you get this armor for doing this. So that way, it's like you could use armor that you like that look cool by like, okay, I want this piece of armor. I need to go earn that piece of armor. I mean, I guess there were some of the really hard ones that you could just show off, like, haha, I have this piece of armor because I grinded this thing out. But I liked it, that system, because you didn't buy them. You didn't unlock, you didn't just have access to them. It was just, you kind of earned the armor that you wanted.
Makes sense. It's just something I always pursue because, yeah, like I want to have something that's identifiable. But I hate so many games that just like throw out the one that just like the one item that ruins the system. And I don't know. I always also got annoyed with Gears. Like I like the Gears characters, but I just want to be like the basic Gear. Like I want the Halo system in Gears. I don't want to be fucking Baird. I don't want to be Marcus Phoenix because I don't care.
Marcus Phoenix is the worst anyway.
Yeah.
What?
Ellie hates Marcus.
I
Phoenix.
do. Yeah. I don't.
You, like as a character? Or?
Yeah, as a character. I just think he's
as a character and a person. And like his existence. You haven't played 4 though.
No, I haven't.
No, he's a 4. He's all old, manny.
Oh yeah, doesn't he have like gray hair?
Yeah, because it's like his son was born and he's like 22 now or something. I don't know how old he is in that game.
Well, he was old enough to be in the army in the defect, so
yeah,
there's that.
I like Gears 4. I want to go play more of it.
I enjoy Gears 4.
Yeah,
I don't like. Do you know if they're making Gears 5? Because they definitely show like there should be a Gears 5. I just don't know if they were actually in production over it or not.
I think they are, because I think they definitely built 4, like even story aside, to lead into something else. Like they definitely were investing a lot in the like esports stuff. I think with Gears, which is interesting. Like I'm not that heavily into Gears multiplayer, but I know they were doing like a ton of tournaments and stuff, and a lot of their funds were diverted to go towards and support that kind of stuff.
There's a movie that I watched with my brother that's about this this team of players that go to this Gears of War championship and all like mishaps that goes along with that. And like one of the other characters just like goes like, oh, I'm like the best at Frogger, and he's going to go to like this retro game thing, and it's just a piece of shit. But he's like rich though. So like he wants to like put up the part for like, oh yeah, I'm so good at this game, but no one else likes it. And then turns out later he's related to one of the characters from the team. But it's like, it's just a dumb thing.
I thought you would say the characters from Frogger. It's like, man, that bus is hot.
He's the frog's great uncle.
God. Have you ever seen King Kong?
No.
It's like a live action version of that.
But isn't that supposed to be an actual documentary?
Yeah, that actually happened. It's like, it's the story of this teacher like going for the world record in Donkey Kong. And they make like the guy that currently has the world record, they paint him as like this total douche. And I suppose he's not that bad, but in that movie, he's like a villain, like completely like, it's like, what? He gets the high score. The hero of the story gets the high score, and what? This dude has been sitting on a tape of him getting an even higher score for like 10 years, and he pulls it out now to re-win the record. But it's like, according to the rules, it still counts. And it's just like, it sounds like it's all written, but it's like, no, apparently that happened.
Okay, like, is there something like he knows what he's doing, and he just doesn't care?
Yeah, I guess there was I don't know why he necessarily did that. Like, yeah, I think he has a bunch of records, but yeah, I don't know specifically. It's been a while since I watched it, but yeah, that's totally a plot point. And then there's like this one guy who's not even relevant to the story, but they keep putting him in the shots, and you just hate him by the end of the movie because he's just annoying. I don't know. It's really fascinating. It's a good documentary with a lot of interesting characters, despite being a live documentary. You should watch it. I don't know what's on now. It used to be on Netflix. That's how I watched it. But yeah.
I'm not really into documentaries myself.
Yeah, I feel like I'd like to watch it, but it's pretty low on my list. Ever get one.
I don't know.
Me too.
Like, documentaries can be good. I just feel like with documentaries, it's so easy to present anything in any light.
Yeah,
when you have infinite amount of time, and like you take snippets from one like a group of people that are like they agree to be in it, but you have hours of what you want to present, and they only get like a certain amount of minutes. Like, I feel like you could make a documentary in favor of Nazi Germany, and it would look fine. In fact, that happened like very early in the Nazi regime. Like, Hollywood was sucking like Hitler's dick.
Well, funny to mention that. That's actually what I'm going to use your footage for. Yeah. So when you cut back, you'll be like, oh man, I love that one. And I'll just like cut, splice all up. It's going to be great.
There's a mockumentary. I love mockumentaries. Mockumentaries are good. There are two I recommend. One is What We Do in the Shadows, which is about vampires. And like one character that's supposed to be like Vlad the Impaler, there's like Slav the Poker, and I think it was he's supposed to be like Vlad the Impaler, like Dracula, but I think they called him the Poker just for the one joke where one guy, his name's Stu, Stan or Stu, and he's just like a regular human, but he knows they're vampires. He's like helping them with IT stuff in their old mansion. Is like talking about like, okay, you get on Facebook, you can like stuff, you can poke people, you want to do that? And he's like, yes.
I've heard good things, but I've never actually gotten around to watching that one.
That's good. Another one I really liked is American Vandal, which I think is supposed to be spoofing to make a murderer or whatever.
Okay.
But it's like about this like dumb high schooler who's like notorious for drawing dicks all around school and doing dumb stuff like that. And like apparently some guy drew dicks on like 25 cars in the school parking lot, and like he's getting framed and expelled for it. And like all things like trying to prove that he wasn't the one who drew the dicks. Like, parts like, look, he always draws pubic hairs. There's no pubic hairs on those dicks. And those mushrooms, those are not the proper mushrooms. Like, god damn it.
God damn it. So Ellie, what are you playing?
I'm still playing Mass Effect 2. It's taking me a while. I'm doing all the side quests and all the DLCs, and it's just taking a long time.
Gosh. I just finished Resident Evil 4 and Evil Within, so
nice.
I'm moving on. I feel like I played Evil Within, and I still don't know if I liked it. I either really liked it or I really didn't, and I'm so confused whether or not I liked it. It's weird.
So how close was your expectation of what was going on in the world compared to how it actually ended up being?
I mean, I feel like I knew what was going on the whole time, that it's all like not that he was like inside basically this mind matrix. But I mean, I don't know. I don't have any opinion on like the story. I still don't quite understand why he made it. Like, why did they build? What? Why did the villain build the STEM system? What was the point?
Well, who do you think the villain? Like, who's the villain though?
Ruvik,
the pale ass guy. I don't think he created it. I think he was used in it.
No, he built it. He built it with the other doctor, and then the other doctor like betrays him.
I thought he was the test subject, and he just broke out and like took control of everything.
No, he's actually part of it, and he specifically built it for him to be the host, and that's why, like, the other doctor's like, well, we're gonna make you the host, but I'm gonna like trap you in it.
Oh, okay.
But yeah,
see, I didn't play it personally.
Yeah, so. It's just weird because it's like one of the things they make a point about is like, man, all these areas are like different memories, and that's why you'll have like a horror section in medieval times, and you'll have like one that's super Dead Spacey. But then it's also
I did not know of any of that.
No, not like space like future, but it just feels like that. But it's like mechanically, it's that way too, where it's like, oh, here's a huge stealth section, and then you go to a level like, okay, now I'm running around in the day sniping people, and like, is this the same freaking game? And I get so confused. Or like the game's not good at telling you like, it doesn't like telegraph info to you very well. Like there's a lot of times I'll like fighting a boss, and it's like, oh, I didn't realize that I'm not actually doing damage, even though it looks like it. You have to wait until it's like vulnerable, and then you do damage. But then there's other times where it's like, the boss doesn't react at all, but you are doing damage, and you should be killing it. It's just like, I don't understand. But otherwise, they think they're so good. I just don't. So I either really like it or don't. I don't know.
So
it's weird.
Why are the people that are actually people in it there, and why do you have the power enough to defeat the bad guy?
See, yeah, that didn't make sense to me either. Why he's special, your main guy? They never touched on that. I don't think.
Because like, isn't there's like that? Are you a detective or a cop?
You're a detective.
You're a detective. Then you also have like the cop Asian guy who's like invincible during parts of the game. And there's like that female cop.
Yeah.
And she's in it. But I don't understand like how do they intermingle and why are they there? Like why are they involved in this at all?
I don't understand either. Like I'm really curious. Like, okay, I get that they're in the machine. Why did they put him in the machine?
And like I remember,
he killed everyone else in the hospitals. Why would you put the detective in the machine? It makes I don't understand. Like it's the same thing. It's like, or like here's 2 chapters that's all about you hanging out with your partner, the Asian cop guy, and then you don't see him again for 4 hours, and then he comes back and you like resume that story. But what'd you do in between? There's no relevance. It's just kind of there. It's like, what? Why? I mean, there's like cool moments. I just don't understand like why a lot of that game exists. And the only reason I mentioned that with Resident Evil 4 is because like mechanically they're very similar, except Resident Evil 4 is way better at doing what it's trying to do.
Well, they're made up of the same people, so.
Oh, really?
Yeah. The creator of Resident Evil made Evil Within.
Okay, that makes more sense. Yeah. I was like, no, one's by like Capcom, the other one's by Bethesda or something. But yeah, okay, that makes sense. Okay, but yeah, but then I have to say the same thing about Resident Evil. It's like Resident Evil 4, like I really liked it, and at the end it was just like kind of fell apart. Where it's just like, man, awesome story. And then I imagine the writer's like, man, I completely forgot I got to write about the actual plot of this game. And he just crammed it in like in the very last 2 chapters. And it was like, all of a sudden the dude shows up, fucking like Krauser shows up. He's like, I'm that guy that you remember. And then Leon's like, yeah, you're that guy. It's like, and guess what? I'm going to send you that other guy, Krauser, that you've never met before. He's like, not him. Yeah. And then they just fight. It's like, who are, I don't know.
But who
are these people?
Fuck, was sketchy, evil, sunglass, blonde, Aryan guy.
No, that's the guy they were talking about. Wesker?
Yes.
He's not in that one. But
he's
they
mentioned it.
They like threatened about him, like, I'm going to send you to Wesker. Like, who's Wesker? Why does that matter? I don't know.
Well, like, he was one of the main bad guys in the first game. See, and then he's in a bunch of the other games.
See, it's clear there's a thing, but they spent more time when I was, like, running away from the giant, like midget mech. That happened. Things that didn't happen, explain the plot.
What do you mean midget mech?
There's like a dude who's like, he tells you he's like 22, but he's like 4 feet tall, and he's got a giant robot of himself, and you have to run away from it at one point.
So it's like a scaled up version of him.
Yeah, but it's like as tall as the castle it's in, because it like breaks through and you're like running over. It's a whole thing, and it's just like, I mean, I really like that game, but then just you get to this point, it's like, I don't like, did it just do a complete 180? I'm just like, God. Or like they would do this dumb things. Like the only reason I know Krauser and all those people's names is because he tells you this in this really long cutscene with a ton of like QuickTime events, and if you miss any of them, you start back over. So I had to keep doing it because you're like, hey, I'm giving you plot, but now I'm stabbing you, and it's like basically it was just this big test. Like, are you still watching the screen right now? It's like, God damn.
Okay.
I think there's more to it because there's like alternate scenarios where you can play as other characters that take place at the same time, and I haven't played those yet.
Is this the one where Michael Jones was talking about, like, there's that NPC that was great that you could tell, like, get in the dumpster?
Yeah, you have to escort Ashley, who's the president's daughter, and she's way better. Like, I'm also playing Silent Hill 2 right now, and oh my god, Ashley's great compared to the fucking, like, AI and like that. Like, literally, it's like, the AI in that I have to, like, literally shove in a corner, because otherwise they will just, like, go up to the monsters and look them in the eye as they die. It's like, what the fuck? But no, she's fine, because that's only, like, 2 sections of the game, where it's, like, a legitimate issue that she's going to get killed, or, like, get carried away and captured. Every other time she died, it's my fault. Like, I shot her accidentally. And even then, she's, like, really good. Like, she will, like, duck your stuff and stuff. Like, she's great AI in comparison. But, yeah.
What about, is that also, I also hear, like, notoriously, there are some, like, bad, like, character line writings. Like,
I think that, I talk about when so I'm doing it for the channel, and I talk about that. It's clearly intentional. Because when you play, it's like, it's meant to be like an over-the-top action game, and like Leon, the main guy, that's clearly what they're telegraphing. And there's like some lines in there that's like, okay, this is too bad, but also too good to not be intentional. Like, there's like one point where you're like, I think you're talking to essentially the villain of the game, who's like Lord Sadler, and you see him like kill a dude with a giant tentacle that comes out of his back, and he's like, I'm going to infect the president's daughter with this like virus, and I'm going to send her back, and they'll be none the wiser, and we'll take over the world. And then Leon's like, that's worse than an alien invasion. It's like, what the fuck was that line? Like, of all the things, like, why would you fucking say that? Goddamn. It's just, I actually really like that by the end of it, because it's like, it's so just like weird. Like, it's actually really cool how it makes it feel like an action game. Like by the end of that, like, one of the things I like is you can shoot stuff out of the air if they throw like an axe at you. But you can also do that with a knife. So I was totally just being like, fucking, like, blocking shit with my knife. Like, oh yeah, I'll shoot the arrow out of the air with my knife. It's like, oh, that's so cool. It's a great game. It's just like the story at the end is kind of weird. So, good final boss though. Okay. I would really recommend it. There's just points I just didn't get.
I remember there was they made a animated movie. I think that's supposed to follow after 4. Because I know Leon's in it and the president's daughter's in it. And it's like zombie outbreak at like airport or something. I don't remember. I watched it with my brother a long time ago. But apparently that was okay. So I don't know if that'll help explain anything to you.
Well, I want to go back and maybe play some more of them, like, and see. Just because, like, yeah, there's a lot of stuff they don't reference. Like, for example, the enemies in 4 revolve around, I guess, in this local area in, I think, Spain. There's like a parasite. And basically, it's like floodlight from Halo. Okay. And so you can infect you, and it only needs like a spore, but it grows inside you and it gives you like tentacles and shit, and you get really strong. That is not related whatsoever to Resident Evil 1 and 2 with the Umbrella and that virus. And so, like, for example, when you fight Krauser, who's a part of Umbrella, he just like grows a giant like knife arm. And I know that's a reference to some other game. There's no reason he should do that. I was wondering, like, I know that's explained in some other game. Why? But why? It's just like, I'm like, if I didn't know that, it would just look like this boss just decided to do that. There was no reason why. Sorry, I have so much to say about that game. So much to say. God, I really do recommend playing. You can get it for like $10, I think, on Xbox or Steam. Nice. So heavily recommend. It's not that long. There's a lot of cool stuff in it, but there's just a lot of also like, why?
I don't know. A lot of, I remember, like, my brother played 5 on 360, and I remember when hearing stuff because he was starting to play it, a bunch of people said like, "Oh, Resident Evil's 5 because it's like Resident Evil's so racist because you kill all these black people," and I'm like, "You're in Africa. Like, exclusively the population is black. If you kill anyone, more likely than not, you're killing a black person. I mean, they're infected zombie thingies, like not zombie things, but it's like, yeah, most of the people in there is like, if you were killing a bunch of white guys, that'd be weird." I don't understand that.
I heard it went like downhill after like 5, and 6 was really like meh, and that's why 7 coming up and being so good was such a good resurgence. Because like that's one of the, I think one of my next ones I do is 7, because I've heard great things about 7.
I think 7 it was the first one that's first person, too.
Really, I knew it was in VR. I didn't know the whole. I guess I did know that was first person. I never thought about it. I mean, because I've been wanting to play it, I've been purposely avoiding a lot of stuff. Because there's a bunch of times, like, I loved Amnesia, but I totally had, like, the water monster spoiled for me before I actually played it.
Water monster?
There's a very famous like water section that's very spooky.
Okay.
And it's actually really early on and totally not the scariest thing in that game, but it's very stressful.
Okay.
So, and then they do that same thing in The Evil Within. They do the exact same thing. Also, The Evil Within's kind of like, again, buggy and it's not very clear what you're meant to do. It's annoying. So, just rants. And then I'm playing Silent Hill 2 now, and that's just stressful. Like, that's just a slow death of being really stressed the whole time you're playing it, and it's just like,
My brother's obsessed with Silent Hill, even though he's never played one.
You should play 2. 2 is very good. I also got 3. It's on Xbox 360. That's what I'm playing it on when Jamie's over.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, they have like an HD remaster that's on there. It's pretty good. But yeah, they don't have the first one, which I really like the first one. But yeah, got the whole pyramid head and stuff. It's cool.
I thought that was 2.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah, the one I'm playing is 2.
Okay.
That one has pyramid head. Yes. Spooky, stressful. The thing is, like, it's like I'm not even that scared. It's just like constant, just like stressed. Like I'm using too many bullets on this enemy. God damn it! They're seeing me. Why is there another enemy here? I really like Silent Hill. I really like games like that, but they're intense to play.
Roy was so mad when Silent Hills was canceled.
Mm-hmm.
He was so mad.
I really need you to play these games because I have all this like pent up rage. I want to yell at them for it, and I can't rant from this.
Like rage, like you feel like they were improperly executed in ways, or it's just like it's intentionally this way, and it just is annoying.
When you have to escort fucking Marie in Silent Hill 2, and she's the dumbest NPC I've ever seen. That's the one where it's like you would like enter an area and there'd be an enemy right by you, and she'd be like between it, and I'm just like, just move so I can kill the thing. And then I like accidentally hit her in the face, and then she dies. Like, God damn it! But it was just been so frustrating because it's just like you can tell it's like they just don't react. She's like standing in one spot watching me move around as I'm trying to dodge these enemies, and then they just walk up and kill her. It's like,
do you know what Silent Hill is?
Silent Hill's the town, but I don't know why it's called that.
Well, I don't know why it's specifically named that, but I think canon is that it's essentially kind of like hell brought to you. Like you are, like your character in them is a bad person. It's like you deserve hell.
It's so in theory, what it is the town like projects like your psyche, kind of, and then depending on the game, there's different reasons why people are there. Like if I call in the first game, it's all projecting the psyche of the one specific person, and they're having essentially like demonic shit, dreams. And then that's why everyone else just has to go through it just because they're there. And then in 2, yeah, very specifically, everyone has done like a reason, and they all just kind of ended up there through coincidence. And the town, like very specifically, is like the way it is because of them. So like Pyramid Head was specifically only meant to be, God, I'm forgetting the protagonist in 2, but it's meant to be like associated only with him. And it like the reason why Pyramid Head is the way it is because it's supposed to be a representation of the main character in 2, stuff like that. So, and then yeah. Do you know the ending of 2 and stuff? And, like the whole spoiler around the fan theory. Okay.
Wait, fan theory? I don't know about fan theory, but I know
there's a small fan theory. There's the truth, and there's an additional fan theory.
The dog.
No dog. Oh, that's an actual ending. That's just not
right. But
no, I don't want to. You should play Silent Hill 2. You should play.
I know that. What like the whole thing is about him and his wife.
So the game opens up that it's like he thinks it's 3 years after she died, and then he finds out it's only been 3 days. And the fan theory is that in the car he's been driving at the beginning is that she's in the trunk. And then,
interesting.
Yeah, there's a whole thing behind it, but
I heard like it was the thing that he just like straight up murdered her, but then it doesn't turn out like he did something and she is essentially in a terrible comatose state, so he like kills her to try to like put her out of her misery.
No, she's like sick and terminal. I think I haven't played it all the way through yet, but it's like she's terminal, but she's gonna like die in a year, and I guess it's just too much stress for him.
Okay,
I don't know the exact situation because I'm playing through it right now and actually paying a whole bunch. But that's the idea.
Okay,
and then you have a bunch of other people who also did like really shitty things, but I don't want to talk about Silent Hill forever because I was just like I've never played it or heard of this game. You should play it. You'd like it. But yeah, that's what I've been going through. It's just stressful. That's why you gotta play them so I can talk about it. And you'll be like, yeah, fucking right. So you just know how to go around corners. What the fuck?
So have you been playing it on Steam?
No, I've been playing it on my 360 over there.
So it's got Resident Evil 2 and 3?
I got Resident Evil 4 on my Xbox One, and I have Silent Hill 2 on my 360.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna get Resident Evil probably on my Xbox because I'm not confident my
Resident
PC
Evil
can.
7?
Yeah, I'm not confident I can record 7 and play 7. I probably can, but I don't want to put down the money and then figure out I can't. Plus, I prefer it usually on Xbox anyway. Like it's simpler. I don't have to like mess around with all my settings. So, but yeah, sorry for my whole rant there. That's what I've been playing.
How did we get over here?
What?
How did we? Oh, we
were talking about games, and I was still playing Mass Effect for like the last 4 months. Finally, Mass Effect's only been out for like 15 years, and you finally went back and played one.
12 years.
12 years.
The first one came out in 2000.
I was going to come on like podcast 50. It's like, oh my god, can you believe that Mass Effect 3 ending? That was bullshit. And like, everyone's going to be over it. Like,
Yeah.
Everyone's already over it, I think.
Another Mass Effect trilogy has started and failed. Every time you've been playing that game.
Have they established that they're not going to make any more?
I'm pretty sure. I mean, I feel like they're going to sit on it, and maybe they might pick it up.
But like
the name holds enough to start it.
I feel like it was fine. They just fucked up and like outsourced shit.
Mm-hmm.
God,
so
it annoys me.
How was your Christmas, guys?
It was good.
It was good.
Yeah.
What'd you get for Christmas?
I got Hulu from you.
Yeah.
And then I got some shoes and some charging cables for my phone and my computer.
Nice. I don't have them around, I don't think. But I got Jamie the set of slippers that look like rabbits that have like a matching mask and stuff. It's really cute.
Oh, that's cute.
You like there's a mask for you that's like your
it's a sleeping mask.
Okay.
And then, that makes more sense. Like, why would you wear this? But no, and then slippers are like little rabbits. It's cute, and they have like a tail and everything. So I'll show them to you after the podcast.
Warm?
I have not worn them, so you'd have to get Jamie's opinion.
Can you actually wear them?
I don't think I.
Can you actually fit your feet in them?
I would doubt that very highly.
Jamie's got little feet and little hands.
Otherwise, got a bunch of gift cards and stuff. So I'm using that. So next week we should have more lights to improve the fact that it's all dark over here. We should have. I also bought a power strip to help do the setup, and I bought a clapper, like the clapboard. You see, like go like boop. Because it's literally what I need. Because one of the things that's always annoying is we have to sync, and like it is a problem with like when we just clap. It's hard to actually tell where the impact of your hand happens. Mm-hmm. And also then you can put like, this is episode 8 or something, and I can actually have that there.
It took me the longest time to figure out what that was for.
The clapping?
Yeah, what the clapper was for. Like, I didn't realize it was because they had it specifically for the noise. Because, like, I always saw, like, they always had, like, marks, like, what take this was, what scene it is, and all that stuff. So I thought that was, like, they kind of put it there as, like, okay, this is what we're doing, and now we're going. Mm-hmm. Like, oh, it's specifically for the sound, though. I don't know. It took me... I think I only figured, like, it dawned on me, like, earlier this year. I'm like, oh my god, that's what that's for.
Yeah, so that's going to be nice. There's, like, with podcasts, like, there's so many things I could buy that are, like, $20 that would be helpful like that. Like, that's not expensive to get. It's just... I have so many things, like, $20 that would be nice. Or, like the lights. Like, it's really dark in here. I don't like that. Like, it doesn't look terrible, but compared to, like, when it's actually sunny out, it's a big difference. And the cameras... don't like it as much. The wide shot's okay because my phone's nice. Assuming that's still on, I really wish there was some kind of indicator because I'm always I'm just constantly stressing. Like, should I check it? Is it off? Is it on? I don't know. But so looking forward to that. That's kind of what I spend on. Should be coming before next podcast. So yeah, I'm excited. I've been I wanted to get like the clapper for like a while because it's exactly what I need. Because not only, one, do I need to sync, and that's a problem, but also I constantly do stuff. Like when I was like recording like Resident Evil, I would record it on like, if I didn't have enough room, I'd have to do multiple cards, and I wouldn't necessarily know which one's first, and I'd have to like watch myself, be like, is this episode 1? Is this episode 3? And I'm just like not saying anything that's conclusive. But with that, you can like write it on there and you clap it, and then when you go and look at the shot, like, oh yep, this is the second recording session. Yeah, now I know. So stuff like that. Or like I know it's a big thing. I do the same thing with like our video feeds. Is because like right now we sync all in one person. Well, that means I have to watch it for a little while to be like, okay, yeah, this is Andrew's camera, and then I can label it and stuff. And, yeah. So improvements always nice. I want to keep moving the podcast forward. I want to do a fun episode too soon. Like kind of the cake one was like its own thing. I'm thinking I don't know yet what I want to do exactly, but I have a couple ideas.
But these have all been fun.
Yeah, but like an event. Like one of the things that we haven't done yet that I'd like to do is one of the small benefits of my current setup right now is it's all actually mobile. We can run everything on battery if we wanted to, so we could do it in the middle of a field. There's nothing actually stopping us from doing that, so I thought it'd be fun to go somewhere and do it.
Yeah.
Or like, I don't know, I have a couple other ideas. Even like simple stuff like, oh, we got a cake that one time. That's neat. So, or I don't know, maybe do like a pairing. So like, we're going to make this video and then we're going to do a podcast after. So that way it's like we can talk about the thing we just did in like in depth or something. I don't know. I just need time to do that. I need to spend all my PTO at work. But I've been too busy. So instead, I'm going to stay up and edit this podcast. Because that's how I do.
How you do?
That's how I do. So yeah, what's up with you guys? I've been dominating this conversation. What's on?
Nothing is really up with me.
You gotta go back to California soon, right?
Yeah, I do have to go back to school in a week. And that's going to be stressful. I got a lot of card classes to take.
What's the weirdest thing about living in California?
Weirdest thing?
Yeah.
Maybe this makes me sound bad, but they're very environmentally conscious out there. Okay. And I have to say, from coming from Nebraska, it is weird because I'm not prepared for it. Like, you have to like bring your own bags to the grocery store, and like they don't. Yeah,
they're pretentious pricks, in my opinion.
They're all very environmentally conscious.
Well, yeah, it's like all the people are like, oh yeah, I'm fantastic because I recycle stuff, and like. Yeah, you don't realize that they actually have people that go through all your trash anyway to take out all the recyclables. Literally putting it in a recycle bin doesn't do anything.
It makes you feel good. And that's what matters.
See, like, they're all... they're pretentious pricks.
There are a lot of pretentious people I've met in California.
And there's like... And like, they're always like, oh, we're always having water problems. But they use so much water for Hollywood and shit. Like, because they hardly ever rains. It's like, we need to do a raining scene. We're just going to use... a few metric tons of water in the scene, and then we're still having drought problems. Oh my god!
So what they need to do is they need more movies with rainy scenes in farm fields. Like if they can mix that would be like the ideal recycling situation. Where it's like, okay, turn on the irrigation. It's like, okay, now cry.
Yeah.
It's like, man, I've always wanted to propose to you in the middle of this cornfield. It's the perfect moment, and it's raining. Oh, great! I'll write that movie. We'll do it. Yeah. No. What about you? Any plans for the upcoming holidays besides the Christmas?
My brother, a few of our and mutual friends. In fact, you can come if you want. Are planning to play some board games over
Thanksgiving. Wow.
New Year's.
That's good preparation.
Like we plan ahead, man. Like I think we're gonna play Cards Against Humanity for sure, especially because I think we're up to like 7 people now. I'm like,
nice.
It kind of limits how many games you can play once you get that many people. It's like, well, like a lot of these games are like 4 to 6 people, and now we're like at 7, so that's awkward.
You're 7th wheeling.
I don't know. Like I feel like the only thing is Cards Against Humanity loses its shock value after you play it a couple times, in my opinion.
Like, I own it, and I would only ever get it out if someone has never played it before, or if I got, like, an expansion. Like, I actually got an expansion from Jamie's mother for it. And so I might play it again. But, yeah, like, especially owning it, I'm just like... There's, like, cards I would honestly just like to pull out from my own set. Just, like... I've seen these so many times, where it's like, this card always wins because it's just, like, has that shock value that it doesn't matter what you play it on. And that kind of sucks.
It really annoys me on Reddit when people post Cards Against Humanity's cards, because I'm like, you could have just
fake it.
Yeah, I know, right? You know they fake it, and I'm just like, what is the point of this? I hate when people do that.
Yeah, I hate it, and I hate the person because like they're literally like, I'm gonna make a Reddit post today, and they got out their stack and they're like, nope. Nope. And it's like there's so many combinations you could always do it. It's like, it's dumb. It's dumb.
I agree. I hate when people post that.
Other than that, like, I like the game. I need more board games. We need to have Mark on so he can like recommend a whole bunch of board games for us. He's a board game buff.
My brother, sister, and I played a game called Kingdom Builders on Christmas, and that's a fun game. We played it incorrectly for the first couple times we played it. We were playing it essentially 1/3 as fast as we should because we thought you would only place like one piece specifically per turn. We're like, oh no, you place 3. So like we were playing 3 times longer than it should have taken.
Ouch.
But I won 3 out of the 4 games we played, so
nice. Solid. I spent Monday doing a Christmas thing with Jamie's family, and that's fine and all. But I'm amazed. Jamie doesn't have a single board game in her house. Wow. Jamie doesn't even have a deck of cards in her house. That's crazy. Like, how do you not have like a deck of cards like somewhere? Like that just seems like that should like come with the house. And I was amazed. Like, you have nothing. It's like, nope. It's like literally nothing.
You know what? You know what game kind of bothers me is Uno. I feel like that game is really fun to play when you're a kid, but when you're an adult, it's just not fun. Stressful. It's too easy to win, or either no one wins, and there's no it's hard to have strategy in it, and it's just not a fun game. I don't think it is.
See, I feel the same way with the
Splodingtons.
What's the name? It's the game. It's kind of a poker game, except not really. You involve cards. So you have the
War?
kid. No, it's the one where like you have the circle. You have to lay cards.
Egyptian rat.
Shit. It's the one where like so you have like all the cards. Like if you play the Queen of Hearts, you get these chips from this kitty. If you play the King, you get this one. If you have like 10, what is it called? God.
You get chips.
Yeah, it's essentially you have chips. Like it's essentially it's kind of like a gambling game, but it's not because you have to play the same amount every time, and then if you get to play certain types of cards, you get parts of that kit. So
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Either.
Damn.
Leave it in a comment. Tell Andrew what game he's thinking of.
It's like there's the kitty, then there's like the 10, there's like the straight part, there's the specifically like the heart.
I just don't understand the cards. Cat. Like, how is there a cat?
Kitty. The kitty, not cat. Kitty. Like, it's like the main, like, everyone pays into this part. Whoever runs out of cards gets that kitty. Then everyone else.
Like a pot? Because
it's not a cat, it's a kitty. It's not a pot. It's not like your gamble. It's not like I bet this much and everyone else counts. It's like, okay, this round, everyone puts the same amount in. It's not like, oh, I'm choosing to put this and you can only play if you put this much in. It's like everyone goes around, and if you run out of chips, you're out of the game.
Okay.
But because, like, so say, and then there's like penalties like, oh, if you have you had the Queen of Hearts and you didn't get to play it, so you're fucked. But again, like,
okay,
it's annoying because like in this game, like everyone goes like, okay, so you have to play in succession, and like, okay, you start with like the 2 of clubs or whatever, and if no one has you start going up, and then you start playing like, okay, everyone goes around, okay, I have the next one, I have the next one, I have the next one, and then if you can't play the next one, the person who laid the last card has to put one of the opposite color lowest that they have. So like if they played like say the Jack of clubs and no one else had say the Queen of clubs, you're like, okay, I have to put either a diamond or a heart, but the lowest of whichever one you had. But I feel there's absolutely no skill or strategy to that.
So I don't think it's this game, but it's just flashbacks. Do you remember playing Bullshit?
Yeah.
It's not vaguely. That, right?
No, it's not. Okay. That at least... That game, at least, I feel like there's a little bit of stratagem and type of gambling. Because, like, they're just sort of, like, saying... And, like, kind of, like, pseudo-counting cards. Mm-hmm. It's like, okay, if I played this number of cards down, and I know I actually played them, and then no one else grabbed the cards, and then someone said, like, a number's like, that doesn't correlate to mine. Like, if I laid 3, and they said they were playing 2... like 10 things later, like that's impossible because I played 3. There's not 5 of any one type of card. There's only 4. So they're like, okay, now, like, no, you're lying about this because they're not paying close enough attention. Or it's like when you say I'm playing 3 cards, but you actually played 5 cards.
So you want to describe the rules?
Bullshit?
Yeah, I've never heard of bullshit before.
So you play so it starts like, okay, first person goes like, okay, you have to say whenever you lay a card, type down. You lay them all face down. You say, I have to play 2s. I say I lay 2 2s down. You can lay whatever cards you want because they're face down. No one necessarily knows if you're telling the truth or not. You could also say like, oh, I'm playing 2 2s, which is correct. You did lay 2 2s down, but you also threw in like a 5. As well. So like you just take turns going down. if someone thinks you're lying, they can call bullshit, and then you look at the cards. If they caught you lying, you have to take the entire stack that's there, and if you were not lying, they have to take the whole stack, and it's just you try to run out of cards that way.
So when you played, normally you had to play relative to the card on the top of the stack, right? You had to play like I believe was one higher or one lower
Of what?
of whatever the last card played was.
Yes.
Yes. And I remember this because it was always a big point of debate. Is people play different versions. Some people are like you can play above, below, or the same.
That's bullshit.
Yeah, and that was dumb because then no one was ever lying because it was actually pretty easy to do that. But then I also play it with it the other way. If you're like you can only go up. Well, at that point, basically no one ever had the card they needed. So everyone was like bullshit. It's like yeah, it's been bullshit for the last fucking 5 times. No one has these cards. And it's just like god damn it. It's just like I was having flashbacks because it's like it always came up in fucking Boy Scouts. So someone says like this is how you play it, and then you play it that way, and then the game sucks. It's like you just didn't know how to fucking play it. They be adamant like this is how you play bullshit.
I feel like this was before internet was prevalent in everyday life.
Yeah, I
So
don't know.
like you couldn't easily just check.
It's just the reason it came up. Like
the rules.
I just remember now all the times in Boy Scouts that happened was just like let's play bullshit, and I'm like it's fucking no. It's just not a good game. And we have a deck of cards. There's so many games you can play with a deck of cards. There's way better things than bullshit. Same with poker. I don't think poker's a fun game to play.
I agree. I don't think it is.
Like, poker's only fun if you're really new or really, really good. Same with chess.
I like chess.
See,
Chess is good.
I think it's fine at a low end because you can make your own strategies, you can theorize, and both people are unpredictable. Same at a high end. I feel like you have all the skill to do that. But in the mid-range, I feel like with both games, it's like, oh, I didn't lose to you because luck necessarily. I didn't lose to you because necessarily like raw, I guess like intelligence or like how theory crafting. It's you memorize the percentages of this hand coming up, or you memorize all these different openings for chess, and then this is the best one, and you memorize how to counter mine. It's just like then it's just like just being a dick. Like you just spent a lot of time. It's the equivalent of like you're the 14-year-old on Halo that plays 8 hours a day. Fuck you. Of course you
know
do.
what? I think the equivalent of that is like the Rubik's Cube. It's like everybody thinks that it's you're so smart for figuring it out, and then you realize that the people who figure it out just know the algorithm. It's not like an intelligence thing.
Yeah. Like if you
and it just ruins it.
It does seem like it'd actually be really fun to sit down not knowing it and like solve the Rubik's Cube.
Yeah,
Like, actually make
that's
the algorithm.
impressive.
That'd be cool.
If you can figure it out for the first time without anyone telling you how. Like, that's interesting, but like people are like, I just do this for fun. It's like, why? It's not a puzzle. Like it's essentially,
it's not a puzzle.
I just had a great idea. Can you buy a 1x1 Rubik's Cube?
Probably.
that'd be a dice.
How great of a prop would that be, though? You know, it's just like one on each side, so it's like, solved it. That must exist. If not, I'm going to make that.
That's a dice.
Well, it's just cube. It's not a dice because it doesn't have like different... It would just be different colors, I guess. Yes.
So that's a dice.
Yeah, but I would call it a Rubik's Cube, so I could sound smart. Solved it in 0.0 seconds. Like,
remember,
it's just a talking point. You just put it off in a shelf somewhere and be like, "What's that? It's my Rubik's Cube."
I've seen
I
some
hold the world
really
record.
weird Rubik's Cube like things. Like some of those, like it's impressive again if you figure it out. But like again, if you just look up like essentially the cheat code for it,
Yeah.
like, then it's just stupid.
I remember that was a thing when, I don't know if it was when you were in high school, but when I was in high school, people would do the Rubik's Cubes all the time. And I remember they would like grease their Rubik's Cube so they could do it faster. And I just never got the point of it.
They would
personally
grease the Rubik's
or add,
Cube?
like,
Well, no, I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
That's why.
That's gotta be. That would be such a good euphemism, though. Like, "Hey, girl, can I grease your Rubik's Cube?" But I think it was the thing that's like you associate with like intelligence.
Yeah.
So like teachers are like, "Oh, yeah, it's fine. They're doing like brain games." And really, it's just like just repeating it and just trying to go fast.
It's essentially just like a fidget spinner at that point.
Yeah.
You're just doing it because it's something you can do with your hands.
Yeah, that's a good way to
A
describe
Rubik's
it.
Cube fidget spinner would be cool.
How would that work?
I don't.
Like, I'm sure you could get it to work. Just how, like, that's
You
all
just
they
grease
thing.
it.
Isn't there like the fidget cube? That's like,
Yeah, you can get those. Like that are actually useful for fidgeting.
yeah.
Oh my gosh,
The
yeah.
things
Really-
that pre-existed the fidget spinner.
If you just had a really greased Rubik's Cube, it would be a fidget spinner. You could just spin it.
That's true.
Yeah,
Good.
I mean, it would.
Do you remember, maybe you were there too, Andrew, I think when we went to the Omaha World Herald building and they did a tour of it,
I think I know exactly where
and
you're
they
going
gave
with
us
this.
those cubes that
Yes.
like folded. I was like,
Yeah.
I could play with that for hours. That was so good. I don't know what those are called.
I don't know. It's
But oh my
this
god,
is so
it's just
specific.
like
I know exactly what they were.
yeah, you
It's
describe
it.
it.
It's a cube.
Yeah.
And then there's pictures on each face. But then you could like fold them in half because they're like essentially they were 8 sub-blocks.
Right.
And you fold it in half, it's another picture. And you fold it a different way, it's another picture. And it's like it was so dumb. But yeah, I remember thinking that was cool because you could like keep going, so you could fold it far enough that you like basically inverted and it came back to be what it was originally.
Yeah.
I remember that being neat too. Flashbacks.
I've never seen something like that anywhere else except for that randomly at the Omaha World Herald.
We went there for like the journalism merit badge and Boy Scouts.
Yeah.
I think even there might have been Cub Scouts.
No, definitely not Boy Scouts, Cub Scouts.
Yeah. God, fucking flashbacks. That might still be in my at my parents' house.
I don't have mine,
It's
but
probably in that green nightstand. I wouldn't be surprised. I remember because I always thought it was cool. Even just like it's neat.
Yeah.
Like I mean, I don't care about it being from the Omaha World Herald because it's just the pictures of the building and like here's the printing press. Like, cool, I saw that today. But it was a cool idea. Yeah. I mean, yeah. I had a huge flashlight. Yeah. As soon as you said that, it's like, you're going to talk about the cue.
Yeah.
I wish I had that.
I know.
It's very hard to describe unless you saw it. It was just like so like nice, like boop, boop, boop.
It was just so
it kind of
satisfying.
reminded me. I don't know why. Like that dumb game. Also, it's like where you, like that fortune teller thing. Where
Oh yes, yeah.
I don't know what it's called. Where like you fold it. Like that's also bullshit. Like there's so many things. Like people are like, oh, this is so cool. It's like it's just a piece of paper crumpled up, and it like all you do is that's it. Like literally, it's up to the discretion of whoever's doing it.
Yeah.
What? No, it's not. Do you know how you play those? You put numbers on them.
Right.
They pick a number, and then you do that so many times. You
Yeah.
pick another number, and you do that so many times on the inner side or whatever.
Right, but there's no like set rule. Like whoever's doing it just
You can
figures out
write
what
whatever
it's
you
set.
want though on the inside.
But you're meant to do it like a Magic 8 Ball. So you're meant to be like yes, no, maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, of course, you can be like, I'm just going to get all 4 choices where you just die. Yes, you can do that. But the point is, you would make one where it is like an actual like set of realistic answers. Mm-hmm. I mean, you could also just put like 1 on all the answers. Like, what number you pick? 1? Oh, look, you die. Yes, you can do that.
Why? I'm wondering why you're going straight to you die as like your example of. Well, I'm just talking about like okay, it's like I'm going to do this thing. It's like you said number 8, and I have to do these patterns, but I could also just not do that pattern and do whatever I want. And like see, this is what you get for this, and it's just arbitrary bullshit.
What do you mean not do the pattern? You're supposed to do it the number of times to the number they picked. So if they pick 2, you go 1.
They're counting specifically, like if they're not paying attention, you can it's just whatever.
I mean, okay, yeah.
I don't know.
Of course, if you don't play by the rules, yeah, of course.
But it's not a game either. It's just
It's a thing to do it. It's for 3rd graders, Andrew. The only reason it's not for first kindergartners is because they can't read. So, sorry. This doesn't stand up to your things. What's the best game of all time? Resident Evil 7 or fucking the fortune tellers from 3rd grade? Yeah, it doesn't stand up. Sorry.
I don't know.
Sorry.
I just remember thinking they were stupid. I don't know.
Okay. Is there anything else from like 3rd grade you want to like?
There was that game MASH. MASH was kind of similar to the fortune tellers.
I have no idea what that
where
is.
you like, I don't know, I remember how it worked or something like M stood for like Mary, and then like, I don't know. And then it was like a thing to decide your life.
Did you play like, do you have people who play like Zap in elementary school?
That sounds familiar.
This is a huge throwback. This is like,
what was that?
this is the fucking stupidest
Oh
game.
yes, this is so dumb.
It's like, you had someone would like zap you and they would essentially, they'd write a time on your hand and a date, and then they'd write someone's name on the palm. And if you looked at your palm before the time, you had asked them out. And I was like,
what? It was the dumbest thing.
See, I was homeschooled
This got like,
for a lot of
this got
this
like
type
banned
stuff,
in
so I didn't know
elementary
about
school.
that.
You got banned in elementary school. This is like fucking stupid. Like what? It's that game.
So if you look at your hand before, I don't know.
There's no. You don't win the game. You're just like, okay, I look at it right away. Nah, I'm not gonna do that. That's what the game was. But it was like a big deal in this.
You know what this reminds me of though?
What?
The game.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Shout out to Boy Scouts. You just lost the game.
No. Oh wait, no. I just thought about the game. I lost the game.
Was that not the game you're talking about?
No, that's that. I'm talking about that.
Okay.
But like, it's
There's
got
some
like
dumb games you played as a kid.
You know what was I thought was so silly when I was in middle school was like, people would pants each other, and that was like so common that like if you wore like sweatpants, at least as a girl, you had to wear pants underneath your sweatpants because someone would just come and pull your pants down. And I'm like, that's so dumb.
I didn't realize girls pantsing other girls.
Yeah.
Okay, because I knew guys would pants other guys. I did not know about the other way.
Yeah, it was, and I was like, I think back to that, and I'm like, that's so ridiculous that you would just like walk around pulling each other's pants.
Well,
down.
I think it's just to embarrass the other person. So in other words, it's just, hey, I'm going to be a dick today.
Yeah.
And fuck someone.
That's Curb Your Enthusiasm. Every day he wakes up, I'm going to be a dick today. So. All right, so I think we're at time, so I'm going to do a couple little sign-offs. So if you're watching this, you can watch the video at youtube.com/take4grantee or on my personal site, www.taking4grantee.com. And if you want to ask us questions, you can go to www.taking4grantee.com/dbq, and we'll read them off and go through. So we just have to have time. I feel like we usually go to time so we don't get to them.
What was the question this time? You had a question for us.
I had a question last time, but I had nothing from the site.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I want to actually flesh that out. Like, I'd love to make like a little like kind of like Reddit Lite-esque system where you could like vote like a comment or something if it's like a good question. If it's like dumb, like ditch it. I don't know. I had to plan all that out, or I'd love to actually go through and make like a little bit of software thing so like when we do the podcast, like I can just like log on the site. Here's like all my topics, and we can all submit topics, and we can go through it all formally and stuff. And they'll say like, you're on this one, so don't have to restart the podcast because you said 7 instead of 8 or something. That happened last time. But all the stuff I need to do, I just need time to do it because I want to do more like personal software projects, but they take forever, and I'm not good at that stuff. So, well, it's not with those languages. All the languages I know are all like not stuff to make a website out of.
Yeah.
So you've done it. Where it's like, like I know Java, but that has no real relevance if I need to sit down and make like a website and like design the HTML and the CSS and all this other stuff.
Oh man, sometime we should go on a rant about Stack Overflow.
Oh my god, we can go. We need to. We can record another podcast before you leave because I'm trying to get them all in so I have like a nice backlog to go through and to get us back like on schedule because we've been recording a lot on Thursdays before they come out and then Grant's got to stay up and get it out and it sucks. And that's why they usually get pushed and then the audio version gets pushed even more.
You're so frustrated. You're speaking of yourself in third person.
I am. Is there something beyond the third person?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. I think first person.
If I say Grant refers to himself in third person.
That's third person.
That's still third
The
person.
first one is, but when I say himself, I'm in the third person referring to the second person. Does that like multiply so that I'm referring to myself in the sixth person?
I don't think so. I think you're speaking because you're talking about yourself as if you're talking about someone else.
If I meet a version of myself from another dimension, and I say, Grant looks good today, is that first, second, or third person?
That is first person because
you're talking. It's a different person though, but it's also me.
But it's not the you. It is not entirely you. Like you might have similar DNA, you might have similar experiences, but you do not have the same experiences, and you do not have the exact same DNA.
We do have the exact same DNA.
No, you won't.
Potentially. It depends how close the split is.
Well, no, I'm going to...
So would it be like... If it was for 99% the same, would it be like 2.999 or 2.99%?
Well, I'm just going to say you're going to have slightly different DNA just from just everyday life mutations.
Well, it depends when it splits. What if the branching point is like right this second?
Then that's
right now he's out there. He's filming the Digression Bar. Yeah, and that's the only difference. The difference doesn't have to be like separate from me. Like maybe the branching point was, I don't know, some dude out there picked a number 5 from McDonald's instead. Maybe that's the only thing that's different in that universe.
But it's still a different instance of you though.
Okay.
Because even though up until this moment you would have everything the same, you might not necessarily act the same exact way from that point on, so that you are not the same person.
Okay, so what if I refer to myself in the past?
Because I'm not sure about that.
Because I have a different set of experiences, and we are not the same.
Well, right, but you're also not talking.
I mean, I'm just like fucking with you. Obviously, it's 1, 2, or 3, but I like the idea because it's like, well, if that's the criteria, then yeah, referring to myself in the past, that is an entirely different person. So yeah. food for thought.
So right, so first person is when you're just talking about stuff like you are you.
Yeah.
Third person is like you're talking about yourself, but like it sounds like you're talking about a different person. Like Andrew doesn't like this.
That's third.
That's third person. Is second person
Second
when you're
person is
talking about
I'm
someone that is literally not you, right?
No, it's when you're talking to someone. Like I'm talking to you in the second person.
Okay. But if you're talking
If
about
I say I, it's first person. If I'm saying like Andrew's on a podcast, that's second person. If I say Grant's on a podcast, that's third person.
okay, but you're talking to me, talking about yourself.
No, but when I'm talking about you, it's second person. When someone else is talking.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Let's end this podcast with a bunch of grammar and metaphysical shit. So yeah, I did a plug. So anyway, we can go back around. So I'm Grant. This is the Digression Bar. I forgot the episode number. I was gonna say it. I paused there. Yeah, 9. Digression Bar 9.
I'm Ellie.
Andrew.
Thanks for watching, and we'll be back again in 2 weeks.